Hello, Oupas and Sinkies. How are you guys doing? All right? Yes, of course, everything is fine here with Opa and Oma. We are surviving and we have a beautiful day that the Lord has given us. A new day, new mercy every day from the Lord. So when you are able to wake up and you have a day ahead of you that has been planned by the Lord, then that's wonderful because He's looking after us. You guys are going to bed, so you have a rest ahead. I already feel like I need a bit of rest. My day is progressing. But anyway, so where are we? We are going to do chapter 41 of Laat my lammers wei. And we have gone through the Israel who was in exile and how they were able to get back to Jerusalem because of the good king in Babylon who sent them back. Also to build the temple, he actually gave all of the treasures that were inside the temple. He gave that back to them because that was stolen when they were taken into exile. So all of that went back. They built the temple, and there it was. But then Nehemiah saw that everything is good, but what about the wall around the city? So his king made him the government of Israel or Jerusalem or whatever, and he was given the authority to rebuild the walls. But that was not easy because the Samaritans who lived in Israel hindered the work. They actually would come and attack them and kill them whilst they were building. So they made a plan by arming themselves, and Nehemiah was able to build the walls within three years or so. Isn't that wonderful? So there we are. Now, we are going to move to the story of, we all know the story of Esther, the Jewish woman or girl who lived in Babylon, and we are going to read about her story. It takes place in the Persian Empire with King Ahasuerus in charge, and one day he threw a massive feast. But his wife, Queen Vashti, refused to obey him when he called her. He wanted to bring her into the feast, mostly men, and he was so angry when she did not want to come, I think he wanted her to dance or something, that he banished her and sent out a decree to find a new queen. And in this whole process, he found this beautiful young Jewish girl named Hadassah, who was also known as Esther. She was an orphan raised by her kind uncle Mordecai, and he worked at the king's gate, so in the wall surrounding the palace. The king had an official, the highest official, but he was a very wicked and proud man named Haman. And Haman demanded, that was one of his schemes, he demanded that everyone bow down to him wherever he walked and wherever he went. However, this guy, the gatekeeper of the king, refused to bow down, because as a Jew, you would only bow down to God, and that was the argument. But Haman was very furious. He was so furious that he didn't just want to kill Mordecai, but he wanted to wipe out the whole of the Jewish nation. So he tricked the king in signing a law stating that all Jews in the empire would be killed on a specific day, the 13th day of the month, called Adar, and all their belongings will then belong to whoever kills them. So, when Mordecai heard about this, very terrible news, he put sackcloth on, and he mourned. He also ash on his forehead, and so that was a way to show that he was mourning. He sent a message to the new Queen Esther, begging her to go to the king and plead for her people, for the Jews' lives. She was very terrified because just as the king banished his queen, he could actually not only banish her, but kill her. She could, be killed if you went into the king's place where he sat, his chambers. If you went in there uninvited, he could immediately put you to death. Even if you were the queen, you were not allowed, uninvited, anybody to go into the presence of the king. So, but Mordecai warned her that she wouldn't escape the massacre, even though she was the queen. So she needed to speak to the king. And because Esther was brave, she decided to step up on behalf of her people. She asked Mordecai and all the Jews to fast and pray for her for 3 days before she would go to the king. And she would go there even if it meant that the king would kill her. So, Esther went to the king, and thankfully he welcomed her because he was actually longing for his queen. He was kept so busy by this guy, Haman, that he could not get to his queen. But thankfully he welcomed and accepted her, and he accepted her invitation that she thought of. She thought of having a special banquet where she would have the king and, of course, his special person, second in command, Haman. Now, of course, Haman was thrilled, but he was still so angry at Mordecai that he built a giant wooden gallows outside in the meantime and planning to hang Mordecai. As a matter of fact, he was going to hang Mordecai the next day after this banquet that was organized by the queen. But that night, God was at work. The king couldn't sleep, so he asked for his kingdom's history books to read some of the history to him. And he discovered that Mordecai at once uncovered a plot in which the king was going to be assassinated. But he was never rewarded for that. So the king called Haman and asked him what should be done to honor a great hero. And of course, thinking that it was the king meant himself, Haman, he suggested dressing the man in royal robes and parading him through the city on the king's horse. And the king thought that was a good idea. So he agreed and ordered a deeply humiliated Haman to lead the horse and to honor Mordecai through the streets. So he built this beautiful plan for himself, and in the meantime, it was for Mordecai. But anyway, and he had to actually go with him and tell the people what wonderful things Mordecai has done, and that they had to worship him in a way. Anyway, let's go to the banquet. Later that day, the king asked Esther what she wanted. She bravely pointed at Haman and revealed his evil plot to murder her and her entire nation. The king was absolutely furious, and he ordered Haman to be hanged at the exact same gallows that Haman had built for Mordecai. So you see, in one day, two things happened. He had to go around the streets with Mordecai on the king's horse, and the next morning he would be hung on the gallows that he built for for Mordecai. Mordecai was promoted to Haman's powerful job as a prime minister because Haman was no more, and because a Persian law could not be cancelled, so they wanted to cancel the killing of the Jews, but the Persian law forbid that a law signed by the king and stamped by the king could be changed. But instead, the king made a new law, giving the Jews the right to defend themselves. In other words, on that day, they had to be killed by whoever wanted to kill a Jew. They could kill a Jew, but the law said that gave the Jews the right to arm themselves and to defend themselves. So the Jews fought back against their enemies and won a very great victory. And even to this day, the Jewish people celebrate the incredible rescue with the joyful festival. Up to this day, it's called Purim. So you will hear about the Jewish festival of Purim, and that is to celebrate what happened in the time of the Persian king and the Queen Esther. So she was a very brave woman, Jewish queen of a Persian king, and this is all the things that happened in her life and how she saved, of course with the help of God, God's plan saved her people, the Jewish people. That's our reading for today, and I hope that you guys will sleep tight and dream of Opa and Oma if you can, and sleep, have a good rest. Tomorrow is school, and I see you, God willing, tomorrow. Sleep tight. Love you. Ciao, ciao.